Here's the entity flying in circles around me repeatedly. Light activity in the middle of the intersection while this act of criminal summoning is underway. It is the exact same pattern of conduct. The entity amplifying the sound of what is reminiscent of the sound of a car accident. The entity engages in a pattern of creating noise, and then you have what is a scene in the middle of the intersection where they are stalking in the path with light, and the entity is doing the exact same thing, stalking by helicopter. It is the P.O.C. All right, it's called criminal summoning, and it is 11:50 p.m. That's Ontario police who are monitoring. They're going to federal prison. Those are demons, okay? The demons that are Ontario Police Department. They're group stalking, and this is entirely demonic. And this is group stalking by helicopter. That's what the Ontario Police Department are engaging in. They're stalking in the path. They're in directed light. They're manifesting light. They're focused on me. They're monitoring me while the entity is flying over me by helicopter, which it is routinely doing. That is no different while they have a scene in the middle of the intersection and they're using their sirens and their lights, stalking me with that light activity and audible activity creation. That is the Ontario Police, who shall be disbanded. They are literally an infected police agency engaging in criminal conduct as you are looking at it. This is criminal. All right, and this is the criminal activity that the Fontana Police Department have been documenting and engaging in as well. All right, and so this is the entity that is stalking by helicopter over the museum in the same way that the Fontana Police Department were engaging in group stalking and monitoring, flying over me as I documented a pattern at that venue where today they engaged in criminal summoning. All right, this is speaking to what is the demon possession of the Ontario Police Department, the Ontario Fire Department, the state of California that's engaging in what is group stalking, and engaging in what is terrorizing you in your face, stalking you in your face, threatening you in your face. It is the grounds of federal prison. And then you have psychopaths like Stephanie Ortiz who are engaging in this system with this government and then exercising fictitious authority. That demon does not have actual authority. She engaged in what is criminal summoning today, acting as a demon who's engaging in group stalking, is exercising what is fictitious authority, and that fictitious authority is the grounds of federal prison. All right, criminal summoning the demon-possessed agency that are engaged in group stalking, that are stalking, and then you're summoning them to stalk in person. That's what the Fontana Police Department did. That's what the Ontario Police Department is doing right now. Alrighty, it is currently 11:52 p.m. What you are witnessing is called pacing, and this is entirely demonic. This is what the Fontana Police Department were doing in vehicles under the fake sun as I was at that Fontana Police Department, driving by me on Upland Avenue, and then driving and crossing path on the inside of the gates. They were demons that were pacing in engineered light. This is engineered light that I'm being molested by. That's all engineered light. There are demons that are molesting light, demons that are patrolling in the path, and this is a demon that's patrolling around. This is the P.O.C. It is currently 11:52 p.m. And this is the direct evidence for what is federal prison for the people of the state, such as Stephanie Ortiz, a state actor, engaging in what is obstruction of justice, while you are documenting how she is a sex offender, monitoring me with my panties that are down, in concert with the group stalkers that I was documenting, monitoring with this government, stalking in a bathroom, engaging in surveillance outside of a women's restroom, inside of that facilitating venue, and then engaging in what is a criminal act of obstruction of justice while you document it. That's what Stephanie Ortiz and the Fontana Police Department engaged in. And this is evidence of what is going toward what is federal prison. All right, that is the conduct that the government shall not engage in. While it's doing it now, let me be clear, but I'm capturing it so you understand what group stalking is, so you understand what demonic activity is, so you understand what the criminal conduct of law enforcement and the people of the state, they're demons alike. This is all demonic what you're looking at. These are demons one after another, after another, after another, that are crossing path, and they're targeting me while they're doing so. And that's the Ontario Police Department at third-party facilitating venue, Rio Money Transfer, the T-Mobile, the EUCLID Loan and Jewelry. That's the Ontario Fire Department. They're group stalking while this entity is targeting me, and this is the ongoing indication of it. That directed light. Ontario Fire Department, federal prison, okay? You're using those vehicles. Those are demons using fire trucks, demons using police vehicles, demons driving their own vehicles, and they're monitoring together. Federal prison. I kid you not. They're going to federal prison. The Ontario Police Department going to federal prison. All right, the Ontario Police Department remains in relevant position. They're stalking in the intersection, monitoring while the entity flies over me. This is the evidence of what is and understanding what is the necessary grounds of the group stalking system, what is demonic activity, what is terrorism. This is clearly terrorism on its face, but it goes beyond that. These are demons who are engaging in what is massive surveillance, stalking all around, engaging in stalking with light. That's what these demons are doing. That's an empty parking lot back there. The Rojas Tax Enterprises, they're group stalking with this entity. Stalking in the path with light, that's what the police are doing, the fire department is doing, while flying around me by helicopter. They're going to federal prison. Stalking in the path, this is stalking in the path with light. You're looking at the same POC, they're all monitoring. She's going to federal prison. She's going to federal prison. She is, I will repeat it again, Stephanie Ortiz is a demon-possessed psychopath. She is a violent sex offender, and she engaged in the fullest act, yet again, exercising fictitious authority, which she shall in no way avoid justice. She's going to federal prison, and so shall the people of the state who engage in conduct of the like, including those that are of the police agencies engaging in what is demonic conduct and interstate stalking in violation of Title 18. All right, and this is, again, it is currently 11:55 p.m. where the entity is engaged. You're understanding what is absolutely having nothing to do with that scene. They are stalking in the same way that they are every night. That's light activity. That's what they're doing. Maintenance of presence in the path, and they're doing it with the people of the state. And this is a demonic scene, let me be clear. This is hostility by Satan. I've documented the Ontario Police Department exhibiting their demon possession on many, many occasions. This is another one. They are stalking in the path, monitoring with the people of the state, facilitating the criminal system. But this, let me be clear, this is Satan showing hostility. They will be prosecuted for that as well. It is the exact same conduct, stalking day in and day out by helicopter, amplifying audible activity, while you are then monitoring with the people of the state. This is criminal summoning, and that's what the point of it is. They're doing nothing other than stalking in the path in plain sight, and it's supposed to be under the guise of what is the execution of their duties as officers. They're engaging in criminal conduct, and it's criminal summoning, which is the grounds of federal prison for the people of the state, for the state that acts directly. All right, it is currently 11:56 p.m., and this is a psychopath that's pacing around me in a helicopter. This is a psychopath that's stalking in the path with what are police lights. And the entity is doing this in relevant position and doing so on an ongoing daily basis. And so this is what I mean by understanding the psychopath. Stephanie Ortiz got on the phone as though she's calling the police that she is not already monitoring with. It's the same exact pattern of conduct. That's why I'm able to capture that impossible environment, what is not possibly the sun, in the morning until the evening. And then as I leave in the middle of the day, that light source isn't remaining till the evening. It remains right over me, following where I go. And while I document that, these are hostile minions. These hostile demons will go right into the cages where they belong, federal prison. That psychopath got on the phone as though she's calling law enforcement, and they're monitoring together. That's a psychopath. This psychopath that's flying over me in circles. You don't make any call to police. The police are group stalking with her. That's what they were doing in Fontana. You don't make any call to the police. The police are group stalking. The fake sun is over their venue. Just like I showed you in video today as I went over to their police station and showed you the fake sun and remind you about what I already documented at 6:10 in the evening. What is not the sun that's still at that same location? That's a 5-hour difference, more than a 5-hour difference at the same property. That's called stalking with light. They're puppets of Satan, just like the Ontario Police Department. And that psychopath, Stephanie Ortiz, engaged in what is, again, they're all on a stage. This criminal summoning is nothing other than ongoing facilitation. The entity is monitoring together. The people of the state, demons. The entity, that is the police agency, whatever city that is. They're demons. They're monitoring. Light activity, relevant positioning, pacing around audible activity. All right, and that's what I mean by a psychopath. She's doing nothing other than documenting how the entity engages in what is the pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring. And she is providing what is a template for what is a swift prosecution for what is a federal prison. All right, that's exactly where you belong. Sponsoring this sort of terrorism, which is occurring while I'm inside of that Fontana Lewis library. And you are monitoring, first of all, and then you're a whole psychopath talking about somebody told you that they're recording, that I'm recording them. They're monitoring me, and they know exactly what I'm documenting while they're engaging in this criminal system, okay? That's a psychopath. And then acting like you're calling the cops like they are not monitoring together. That's exactly what they're doing. That's a psychopath who is aware of what's going on with my panties in the bathroom, and then you want to engage in criminal summoning. That's a psychopath and a violent sex offender. That's what the Ontario police are. That's what they're doing. And they're doing it with the people of the state. This is documentation of the people of the state. The tons of license plates that I read again today on my podcast. This is documentation of every single last one of them monitoring with the entity. It is indeed, while the entity provides this concession, because that's what it is, Satan does not have self-control while it engages in the pattern of conduct, and I document it and I reveal it to you. It is also going toward that prosecution of that entity that I documented today on my podcast, under what is the fake sun at this same intersection where I get up in the morning. All right, this is the evidence of what is stalking with the fake sun. They're stalking with light. That's what this is about. And the entity does so by the provisions of Satan itself while they are demon possessed. Stalking under a fake sun, a group stalking by helicopters, airplanes, using trains, all right? Demon possessed police officers, monitoring together with the people of the state. All right, this is the evidence of what is stalking with the fake sun. That's why the entity is stalking with the fake sun, because the government is engaging in what is an operation referred to as what is federal group stalking and monitoring. And the Ontario Police Department are at the forefront, providing what is going to be understanding the grounds of the ways in which you are dealing with the demon-possessed agency. They are infected. They're engaging in criminal conduct with the people of the state. This is literally group stalking and threatening you in your face, stalking in your face, while the entity is flying over by helicopter, stalking by police officers, and the people of the state engage in this criminal conduct. And then they're monitoring in a bathroom, stalking outside of bathrooms, and the entity engages in summoning those demons. That's what they did in Fontana. You're going to federal prison for that. These are psychopaths and violent sex offenders. Okay, so I want to be clear. This is referred to as criminal summoning. The entity just got through. Those are all demons that are crossing path. They're engaging in surveillance, just like they were showing you in the parking lot. These are places where they're stalking in the path with light, monitoring with the Ontario Police. Understand the criminal conduct that they are facilitating with the people, and they are of the same condition. This is Satan using a people, and this is criminal conduct that's underway by an invisible entity. That is Satan itself, but Satan is identifiable through its minions. The Ontario Police Department, they're minions. They're puppets. And the people of the state, they're minions and puppets, okay? Monitoring. That demon flying over me by, this video is 11 minutes and 43 seconds right now, flying in circles over me. That whole scene, what you're looking at, everything has to do with me, all right? Everything. That's a psychopath. That's what Stephanie Ortiz says. She's stalking, obsessed with what I'm doing in a bathroom, and hostile because I'm documenting the fact that she's obsessed with what I'm doing in a bathroom. A group stalker, a sex offender. All right, that is the Ontario Police, which is already fully revealed. They are exhibiting, again, their demon possession. I have years of documenting those demons in particular, and you're speaking to what is the ongoing criminal conduct in concert with the same exact entity as I went to Fontana and documented them. And I'm not done with Fontana. I'm not done with the entity, but I want to be clear, they're not avoiding what is prosecution. That's adding on what is an enhancement. You're going to federal prison, you're going for a long time. Stalking by helicopter, flying in circles over me for 11 minutes is speaking to what is your delusional thought that you are ultimately beyond the law. You're above the law, and you're not. All right, so you're going to execute justice upon those that are wearing uniforms that they have no business wearing. Monitoring me, sitting in a police vehicle, listening to every word I'm saying. This is what Satan is doing right here while you're looking at this police car. This is a minion listening to every syllable that I'm uttering. Stalking in concert with this entity that's flying over my head by a helicopter for 11 and a half minutes. And while they are sitting in a police vehicle, stalking me. That's what's so both pathetic at the same time and terrorizing. All right, you're going to prosecute for that. And this is direct evidence of it. Direct evidence against the entirety of that entity. It's the P.O.C. that I've been documenting. The very thing that I continuously am keeping a catalog of. And that's exactly why the entity is flying over me for 11 minutes by helicopter in directed light while they are creating nothing but a scene. This is criminal summoning. The grounds of federal prison for the actors that engage in it. Fire departments, ambulances, and police agencies. All right. It is currently 12:03 a.m. and it is now April 30th, 2022. And this is P.O.C.